Steve, thank you so much for joining us on the FrontRunners.
My pleasure.
You are a man very much in demand.
Oh, yes. Yes, I am.
You'll see an orange chair, that's for you.
Okay.
All right. Steve, it's really great to see you here today.
Thanks.
Perhaps my favorite review of your performance in Foxcatcher came from your wife on 60 Minutes, where she said she instantly forgot she was watching her own husband. You must be really relishing all of the great response to this film and this performance.
Well, yeah, the way it's being received is, I think, it's gratifying. I think it's especially gratifying for me to watch Bennett soaking it up, because he's lived with this for 8 years, and it's, you know, it's his. It's really his.
You're at such a great point in your career, doing fantastic things with your comedic work and your dramatic work. But is there a moment, an experience, a person back in your earlier days that really helped you figure out that you could do important things with your work?
There was a teacher in 2nd grade named Mr. Blackman, and I'll never forget it. We were doing the first Thanksgiving between the Native Americans and the Pilgrims. And
very dramatic.
And it was my first foray into the dramatic arts, and I was a Native American, and I was paddling a canoe. And it seemed like such a simple thing. I remember I was paddling the canoe, and then after the scene, Mr. Blackman said, "Now wait, did you see what Steve did? He paddled on both sides of the canoe." We were just miming. But I paddled, and then I changed the paddle and paddled the other side.
Realism.
Realism. He said if he paddled on one side, the canoe would have gone in a circle. He understood the dynamics of the water and the physics of it all, and he paddled on both sides. And it seems like such a simple thing, but I'll never forget it. I had someone single me out, like so early on, and give me credit for something that was so simple. Something clicked. I have to say, something inside said that felt really good.
Does Mr. Blackman know, or did he know, if he's no longer with us, that this was such an important moment?
Well, that's interesting you ask, because he passed away about 6 months ago, and his son got in touch with me after he passed away. And apparently I was part of his eulogy, because he had kept a poem that I wrote as a little kid in 2nd grade, and he kept it with him, like in his archives. And he had no idea that, you know, any of this was going to happen. Right. He just connected with this poem that I wrote. He was a great educator, because he made kids feel special, and that what they were doing was important, and that every child was of value. So that really stuck with me. It just made me feel good about, oh, maybe it's something that I can do.
All right. I want to take a look at a really great scene from Foxcatcher. We'll watch it together with these remote controls in our hands.
Okay.
And we can pause it and discuss key moments.
Okay.
This is a scene near the beginning of the film where your character, John DuPont, who's an heir to the DuPont family fortune, meets Mark Schultz, who's an Olympic wrestler, for the first time. You've summoned him to your estate to have a talk with him.
Right.
So let's take a look at Foxcatcher.
Do you have any idea why I asked you to come here today?
No.
No. Well, Mark, do you have any idea who I am?
Now, one of the reasons we chose this scene is because it really is the first time we're meeting DuPont for real and hearing him speak. What was important for you to get across in this early scene?
I was just thinking about how Bennett laid out that introduction, because when you first see DuPont, it's a wide shot. You see him from the side, and they're just shaking hands. He's meeting just before this scene, and it's almost like a horror movie. You know, and Bennett equates the movie to a horror movie from time to time, because there is that element of danger. There's a foreboding. There's something hanging over, a pall that is hanging over these characters from the very beginning. And it's interesting that you freeze it right there on that smile, because this scene is about as at ease and well-adjusted socially as you'll ever see this guy.
Well, let's keep watching here.
No.
Some rich guy calls you on the phone. I want Mark Schultz to come visit me.
I mean, what I love about what we're seeing here is that this portrayal is a confluence of this great writing, the look of the character, your demeanor, just the way that you're sitting, makes you uneasy. What's you and what's not you? Obviously, there's the teeth that are not yours.
The teeth and the nose, obviously. Bill Corso designed the makeup and spent 6 or 7 months doing camera tests and working with me, coming to my house. So there was a line that we wanted to get up to but not cross over. We wanted to look as much like DuPont because he had a very specific look, and it was off-putting. I think a lot of who he was can be attributed to what he looked like. Well, certainly in part. Mm-hmm. Again, I think it's someone who doesn't have that filter, doesn't really have a sense of how other people view him.
That's perfectly put. There's no social grace at all.
No.
Well, let's see what Channing's reaction is.
Well, I'm a wrestling coach, and I have a deep love for the sport of wrestling. And I wanted to speak with you about your future, about what you hope to achieve.
Now, I love that Mark Schultz, played by Channing, is looking at DuPont like he's got 3 heads here.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't know what to think, does he?
No, I don't think he knows what to think. I think he's obviously dubious, but at the same time, in the scene, you find that DuPont is saying all of the things that Mark really wants to hear, the things that he cherishes. DuPont has a way of tapping into the spirit of patriotism and devotion to perfection and all of the things Mark holds so dear in his heart. DuPont is speaking his language. He's also suspicious at this point and not quite there.
It feels that way. Let's keep watching.
What do you hope to achieve, Mark?
I also read that Bennett had you write something on a piece of paper and keep in your pocket almost something that you don't like about yourself to help you with this characterization. Is that true?
It is. Specifically, it was a secret about myself that no one knew. And I wrote it down on a piece of paper and had it during the scene. And it sounds like sort of an acting trick, something you'd learn in school, you know, an exercise. There's something very vulnerable just sitting in your pocket. And even if you're not thinking about it, even if you're not conscious, it's there and it's going to inform what's going on.
Where's that piece of paper now?
Oh, I have no idea. Probably wardrobe has it posted on a bulletin board.
Hope it doesn't have your name on it. Here's the end.
I want to be the best in the world. I want to go to Worlds and win gold. I want to go to the 88 Olympics in Seoul and win gold.
Good. I'm proud of you.
Even that line is creepy. I'm proud of you. They just met.
Yeah. As I was watching that again, I thought about the pauses, and I think that's a part of the equation that wasn't there the first time. I think we were doing a scene when we first got together and started running this, and by the time we did this, we were very comfortable within our skins as these characters. And Channing and I really didn't converse a lot when we were doing this. We kind of stayed apart from one another. And Bennett said that after each take, as he was editing, he noticed we'd be talking and he'd yell cut and we'd immediately turn away from one another. We didn't want to connect personally. And it's nothing we ever talked about. It just sort of happened naturally. But I think the pauses were something that happened organically later on as well.
Well, it's such a fascinating scene, and the unease only foreshadows what is to come. So I'm glad we were able to talk about it. Congratulations, and thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Be sure to watch Foxcatcher so you can see Steve's phenomenal performance. And thanks so much for watching Fandango FrontRunners. To say thank you for being here with us, we have made you your own Fandango gift card. So please take your friends and family to the movies. Have a good time.
If you say so, I will.
So now the only other thing you have to do is take your picture with me. There's your camera. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thanks. Really great to see you.